We're going to give a warm welcome to David Schmidt. David, great to have you on. I'm going to make you a full screen, so there you go. I hope you've unmuted yourself, my friend.
I have, Jason. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. You know, I would like to take credit for all of that, but you know, we have a staff of over 150 people now, and we span with our offices, main headquarters in California, of course. But we have a very large staff in Ireland where we manufacture. We also manufacture in the United States. We have an office in Tokyo, Taiwan, the Philippines, just opening up Malaysia next month. So we really have an incredible group of people around the world that are able to keep up with the growth in every facet of what we're doing. One thing actually, you know, before we get on to the science, on the business end of it, one thing that members who are coming on board to build the business would want to know is that we have invested millions of dollars over the years into manufacturing. Just this year alone, we invested over $3 million in additional high-speed manufacturing equipment. And we own the manufacturing. We have 90,000 square feet of manufacturing space. And we can manufacture enough product for a company that is doing over $1 billion a year in sales. So we are taking our growth very, very seriously, and we have put money back into our infrastructure to make sure that we can always make enough patches, and our growth rate is not going to exceed our capabilities. So that I think is something for the new members coming on board that they would want to know, that they want, when they put the time and energy into building LifeWave, that we're going to be able to keep up with them.
David, okay. I gave you the sharing. If you wanted to share your screen, you now have it. Sorry, my friend.
All right, let's go ahead and do that. Okay. And we can start with PowerPoint, and that will be fine. So this is actually a presentation that I did a few weeks ago, and I was an invited speaker at a conference called RADFest. And RADFest is about radical anti-aging. And you have some of the top scientists in the world that are interested in longevity and age reversal speak at this conference. So it was really an honor for me to be invited and be among that group of scientists and talk to them about our technology. And you know, one of the things I think you would want to know about X39 and what we're doing with this is that when we released this product in 2018, and of course our growth has been explosive, is that this does in fact achieve partial age reversal. And I'm going to go through the mechanism of this so you can understand it. And then I think you'll even be more excited than you already are. Attracta is clearly very, very excited about this. And thank you so much for sharing your passionate testimonial. And this is why we're here, because we want to change people's lives in a very positive way. So you're going to be learning a little bit about what we've done with this. And as Jason has said, and you got a fantastic leader here, by the way, that we back this all with clinical research. Just X39, we've invested over $4 million into research of this product over a period of 10 years. So there's a lot of time and money that's been spent. So let's go through that a little bit. Now, first, let's talk about, just very briefly, why do we need this product? What is the problem that we're trying to fix? Well, stem cells are universal cells. So any cell that you have in your body, whether or not it be a skin cell, a liver cell, brain cell, muscle cell, they all started as a stem cell. So stem cells are like universal cells. And then as they start to divide, they start to change into these other cells. And the problem is that stem cells age with the rest of our body. Stem cells then also begin to slow down. They don't do their job very well about repairing things when they're damaged. And eventually, by the time you're 75, you don't have any more stem cells. All right, so that's really the bad news. Now, of course, we're entering into the age of stem cell medicine. And in 20 years, if you go see your doctor, you go to a hospital, you'll be getting injections of stem cells. But they're not commonly available today for a lot of reasons. Stem cell injections are very expensive. They're not available to everyone. Many times, stem cells can damage healthy cells. So this is why you see governments around the world not approving stem cell medicine yet. There's just too many risks. They don't always work. So you're going to have a percentage of the time, depending on what you're trying to do, where you could get an injection of stem cells and not get any benefit. And so all of these things together are reasons why we don't see stem cell medicine commonly available. When we began this research, we asked ourselves a very simple question. Could we take the stem cells that are already in our body and get them function like younger, healthier cells? So let's say you're over the age of 50 or 60, as an example. Is there any way that we could take the stem cells in your body and get them to work better? So we asked ourselves this question, and you'll be delighted with the answer. Over this period of time, we've generated more than 70 patents globally in the field of stem cell and regenerative medicine. So our research is recognized globally. It's unique. It's patented. And so we know this subject extremely well. Now, very early on, we were able to form a number of collaborations with different scientists. And one that we're really proud of is with the National University of Ireland in Galway. We have a manufacturing site on the west coast of Ireland. We reached out to the Regenerative Medicine Institute at the university. We were granted an audience with Dr. Tim O'Brien, who runs the institute. And after he saw my presentation, he approved the research. We were funded by the Irish government through Scientific Foundation Ireland. And we started to do stem cell research there. This is one of the technologies that I've invented that we've developed in our labs. And this is a very novel form of electromagnetic therapy. And we used this in the early days to see if we could activate stem cells with electromagnetism, very specific type. One of the tests we did was with what we would call a standard rabbit model. This is a standard model in stem cell research. And what happens is you induce a wound in the ear of the rabbit, and then you see how quickly would the rabbit heal on its own and how quickly would it heal with the therapy. This is what these wounds look like. And right away, the first time out, we saw that by applying this very special type of magnetic field, that we could activate the stem cells and we could heal the injury faster than the control group, which did not get any treatment. Now, this was really a breakthrough study for us because it told us a few very important things. Number one, it is possible to cause an injury to heal more quickly just with energy. And that's what the patches are doing. They're stimulating the body with energy. The other thing that came out of this was that if you were to apply stem cells directly to the wound, they would heal at exactly the same rate as our therapy. So what this told us is that you don't have to inject stem cells into the body. It's possible, to activate the stem cells that are already there and get them to heal the body more quickly. So that's exciting because stem cell injections cost thousands of dollars and we don't need to do it. Now, in our laboratory in San Diego, one of the life forms that we work with in stem cell research is called the planaria. And planaria are flatworms that have remarkable healing abilities. So we want to study that. And if you cut the head off of this worm, a new head will grow in only 17 days. So imagine, if we could apply this kind of technique to a human being where we could be regrowing arms and legs and organs. And researchers are trying to figure out how could we get this from 17 days down to 15 days. We applied this technology and we were able to regenerate the head of the planaria in only 8 days, our very first time. We developed more sophisticated versions of this tool, and we got patents on this, and we were eventually regenerating the entire head of a planaria in less than 1 day. 17 days to only 1 day. That's some pretty serious stem cell activation. The problem with this is that it's extremely expensive and it would not be affordable to everyone. And we want to make stem cell technology affordable and available to everyone. So how are we going to do that? And how does our X39 technology work and accomplish this? Well, we've been developing light therapy products now for the past 20 years. Before LifeWave, I was developing survival equipment for the United States Navy through government contractors. And that's actually how this whole thing got started. But light therapy, of course, this is a form of energy. And the benefit of this is we can use light to create chemical changes in the body. So think about it. You go out in the sun and light will cause your body to make vitamin D. Imagine if we could use light to activate your stem cells and get them to function like younger, healthier cells. Now, the other part of this, which is great, you don't have to connect yourself up to batteries or expensive electronics. This is inexpensive and it's affordable because this is as simple as applying a patch to the body, but there's no drugs in the patch. We're just simply using the patch to stimulate the skin with light. Now, this works on the whole body. So you could apply this behind your neck, below the belly button, at the point of a wound or injury, doesn't matter. When you apply the patch, it is activated by your body heat. The patch will then start to reflect different wavelengths of light that stimulate the skin. And then this will cause a chemical change in the body. This is known as a process called photobiomodulation, if you want to know the technical term, but it simply means that we can use light to create chemical changes in the body. And this is super exciting because now in addition to things like vitamins and a healthy diet and drinking water, we have a whole new technology for improving our health. Now, the question is, how are we going to use light to activate stem cells? Well, just like we could use light to elevate vitamin D, we're going to use the X39 patch to elevate something in the body called GHK-Cu. What is that? GHK-Cu is what we call copper peptide. And this was discovered by a scientist by the name of Dr. Lauren Picard. And Dr. Picard's been working on this now for 45 years, studying this one peptide. And he's discovered a few very important things about the peptide. First thing is that it will reset genes in your body to a younger, healthier state. So when you elevate your copper peptide, the cells in your body start to act like younger, healthier cells. The other thing, of course, that copper peptide will do is that it activates the stem cells, meaning that if you're injured, it'll get stem cells to go to the part of your body that needs those stem cells so it can repair the damage. The problem with copper peptide, by the way, is that the only way to use it up until now has been to do it through injections. And it's currently not available to people other than through research. So what I did was I found a way to elevate copper peptide with light. Now, you may be asking yourself, okay, well, David, how do you know that X39 elevates copper peptide? Well, we have 9 clinical studies. So we have over 80 clinical studies company-wide, but just on X39, we have 9 clinical studies. Now, this one we did with Dr. Caitlin Connor, and this is a blood test. We've done several studies now. This was our first study of 10 people. We've done another follow-up study with 50 people, and we have several other studies that we've done as well. But in this one, we worked with people over the age of 60 because copper peptide levels go down with age. And we found that just within the first 24 hours of wearing X39, your copper peptide levels go up. And after 7 days, we test again. And again, we find that they're elevated compared to baseline. So this is hard evidence that we have. This has been a published study as well, that you wear X39 and it elevates copper peptide. Now, we did another study. This is a larger study with 50 people, double-blind, placebo-controlled. And we wanted to look at how does X39 affect the metabolism? So what type of health benefits could you expect from wearing X39? So again, we worked with 50 people over the age of 60, and we wanted to find out what happens within the first 24 hours and the first week of using X39. Well, we found out some things that are really remarkable. First thing, the metabolism increases and you get better utilization of amino acids. Well, what does that mean? What it means is, let's say that you exercised and you're sore the next day. The muscle tissue has been damaged and needs to be repaired. X39 is going to increase utilization of amino acids like leucine, which are involved in muscle protein synthesis. So short story is you wear X39, you recover more quickly from exercise. We also found that X39 improves the metabolism of hormones that are in the brain, such as GABA. And this then, as a result, improves sleep. We also found out that people's memory improved. Think about this, just within 7 days, a person's short-term and mid-term memory were improving. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. Blood pressure, in only 7 days, people that had high blood pressure were experiencing a reduction in their blood pressure. The heart was becoming more relaxed. We measured that bioelectrically. Even within the first 24 hours, people reported improved quality of sleep, and this was to statistical significance. Overall health, energy, and vitality improved the very first week. Breathing became more deep and improved within the first week. So X39, even though it's activating stem cells, is improving almost every measure of health and vitality. We do have somebody that, yeah, there we go. They're muting. That's perfect. Now, another area that we want to look at is on the brain. And this is really fascinating because, as people age, they get concerned about their memory. And are they going to be as healthy and vital as they were when they were younger? this can become a problem. So we worked with Dr. Gaetan Chevalier, who is actually a nuclear engineer. And he was doing his research into fusion at UCLA. He's now a expert in biomedical engineering, and his specialty is laser spectroscopy and brain mapping. So we worked with Dr. Chevalier, and we worked with a P3 EEG system, and we looked at changes in the brain over a period of 3 weeks and 6 weeks. Again, we worked with people over the age of 50. This was our very first study, and we've since followed this up with a larger study. Now, when you see session 1, that's the baseline. And so that's where everyone started at. Session 2 is using X39 after 3 weeks, and session 3 is after using X39 for 6 weeks. Now, when we have this red area, that is going to indicate agitation. It is erratic wave signals through the brain. It could be an indication of disease or disharmony, but basically what we're seeing is how different regions of the brain communicate with one another. Better the communication, the healthier the body. So you can see that from session 1 to 2, there's been a huge change. And what this effectively shows is that the brain is going into a very calm and relaxed state. And even after another 3 weeks, session 3 at 6 weeks, there's continued improvement. And by the way, this was in, as you can see, a woman that's 77 years old. Now, we would expect someone over the age of 75 to have virtually no stem cell activity in their body. So if you're over the age of 70 and you're wondering, well, is X39 going to help me? The answer is absolutely yes. Now, when you look at the other studies that we did, about 85% of the people that use X39 are going to respond very quickly within the first week. But if you don't start to see results after the first week, it's okay. Some people take a little bit longer. Here's the 67-year-old man who started using X39, and after 3 weeks, there was a subtle change. He continued using the patch, and then after 6 weeks, we see now a dramatic change between session 1 and session 3. So of course, we have a money-back guarantee, and if you use the product for a month, you don't like it, just return it and you'll get a refund. Some people take a little bit longer to respond, and that's understandable. It has a lot to do with age, diet, level of exercise, other lifestyle habits. Some people just respond a little bit faster. Now, what happens in real life? The clinical studies are interesting, but what happens in real life when people use the product? Well, we introduced the patch first in July of 2018 in a pre-launch. And this is from a gentleman in Italy who had open heart surgery. And you can see the scar was a year old. And even after just 1 month, there's been a dramatic reduction in the appearance of that scar. Now, this was a newly formed scar from a surgery, and you can see after 2 weeks, there's been a dramatic improvement. Now, some people prefer to apply the patch right at the site of the injury, and that's totally fine. When we do our studies, people are applying the patch behind the neck or below the belly button, and we find that this works for the entire body. But if you want to apply it closer to an injury, you can certainly do that. Now, here's a young man whose mother is a LifeWave distributor in France. He was in a snowboarding accident, and he had a job interview coming up, so the mom was pretty upset. And you can see that after only 5 days, there's been a dramatic transformation in his condition. Now, this was pretty scary because this gentleman almost lost his hand from a car accident. And you can see what happened after 2 months of using X39. Really remarkable. Now, this is a 9-year-old boy from Denmark, and he put his finger into a door and got it cut off. So his parents raced him to the hospital, and the doctor said, "Hey, I'm sorry, but he's going to lose his fingertip." And the parents begged the doctor to reattach the finger, and he said, "Well, it's just going to die," but he did it. And you can see the tip of the finger started to turn black. They applied X39, and to everyone's shock, 2 months later, it looked like there was no sign that it had been severed. The doctor said that it shouldn't have been possible, and if so, it would have taken about 9 months to heal. Now, X39 is not just for injuries. When we activate stem cells and they start to behave like younger, healthier cells, there's some dramatic anti-aging effects that will occur. This woman's name is Mandy. She lives in Australia, and she began using X39 almost 2 years ago now. And you can see that after 6 weeks, she had a very significant improvement in the appearance of her skin. She was delighted, so she continued to use the patches, and you could see the dramatic change in her appearance after 1 year on X39. Now, this woman lives in Denmark. We have a lot of distributors that live in Europe. Our business spans across about 100 countries. And this occurred back in 2018. So this woman's daughter is a LifeWave distributor, and she was suffering from a number of serious health conditions. So when she got the patches, her daughter was thinking, well, I hope this helps improve my mom's health. And everyone was absolutely shocked after 2 months at the dramatic change in her appearance. Her overall health improved very significantly, but you can see we got this age reversal or youth renewal effect with X39. So this is all to say that before you start using the patches, definitely take before-after pictures, because you might be surprised at what you see. Okay,